Life.Church team. My name is DianaBurnett, and I'm really excited about the product manager opportunity and the potential to join your team. Last week, I met with Brandon Donaldson, and we had a really great conversation. So I'm really looking forward to meeting more of you soon. I know I've only got 10 minutes, though, so I want to jump right in. The first question that was about the biggest myth in product management. And I think the thing that I encounter the most is that people tend to think that product and project management are the same. And I know, product management can certainly benefit from project management methodologies. So I think having experience in one or the other is beneficial to the other, but they're definitely not the same. And I think a lot of people don't understand the skills required in order to, pull yourself up out of the weeds to make decisions that are based on business objectives, KPIs, and just the overall value to the business or the consumer, um, and when and how to negotiate trade-offs. So I think that may be a myth, but it's one that can easily be explained to a team or a stakeholder, while you can also express the value in having someone with the product management type of focus. All right. Thinking long term to answer the next question, how will Life Church be equipping churches in the next 10 years? It is really hard to say what technology will afford us 10 years from now, but I think that what we know for sure is that the mission will remain the same. Life Church is still going to be providing the resources that churches need to keep reaching people all over the world. I know there will be more options available. I can see a lot more short form content, and at that point we're going to have a new generation entering the ministry field, and we've seen those trends with quick impactful messages like we see on social media. I think social will play a big part still, maybe even more so, um and then of course AI. So that will have to be a huge part within 10 years. I'm sure of it. I think it could help us create more materials. We can use it to help generate Bible study content, curriculum, maybe even with sermons. Of course, still with that human element alongside it. Just, we've got to be good stewards of AI, how we're using it, but I can see it really playing a big part. Um, and I think that with all of that, it's like the world is getting smaller and smaller every year. So I would hope that we will see the connections between churches, no matter the location, those connections just grow. And, we'll all be blessed with more and more encouraging material, biblically sound, and, bring in some new perspectives and thought from these connections between the churches too. So, let's see. The next question was about the product that I wish that I had made. And I am really glad that you gave me these questions in advance, because I really, really thought about this one. And I remember just standing in the kitchen and the camera popped into my head. And I know that in the moment, if we were doing this in real time, I'm sure I would have said something really obvious like the internet. So I'm glad I was able to think about it. But the camera popped in my mind and I thought, that is it. That's the product. Because if you think about a camera as a product, in that 0 to 1 stage, it was something that was manual, took a lot of time, was expensive, and not a lot of people could get access to it. Now it is incredibly fast and almost no cost, and the adoption rate is huge, massive. So if you're looking at it from that standpoint, it's like, what a great success story for a product. And I think the roadmap for it even just extends so far beyond what we could even see at this point. I'm sure we'll see multiple more iterations of it, even just in our lifetimes. And then the other thing is, it's giving something invaluable, of course. Like, that is one of the most prized possessions people have, are their photos. And it gives you the opportunity to experience something again that's more than just a memory. And for people who don't have the memories, they can see things that they've never seen before, people they've never seen before, and just learn and stay connected that way. So yeah, I think that's what I would choose if I had come up with a product in my own time. Okay, so I guess maybe that's a good segue into the next about young adults. They've all got cameras in their pockets, right? So I think talking about young adults and how they're engaged in today's culture. Young adults today have grown up with the internet. They don't know a world without it. And so their whole lives been bombarded with information. And not all of that information is true and factual and good. And so I think within the church, they're looking for authentic experiences, things that are real, that they can count on. And that is where they're staying engaged. So we need to meet them where they are and give them options that work with their lifestyle. There's a lot to be said for the in-person small group activities within the church that are happening weekly. You're seeing those personal relationships being formed as they move through really important milestones in their lives in this phase, as they're finishing up their schooling, they're entering their careers, they're getting married, having their first child. These are critical points that they really need that foundation. So I see that with my own church. We have a really great young adult ministry, weekly activities, community activities, opportunities for leadership. And I know Life.Church has that too. So I think that the more we stay in tune with that and stay on top of trends will be the better, for them and for the church as a whole. But it's young adults, I think, are geared, or they're focused on modern presentation of information and opportunities that make sense to them, things being presented in a culturally diverse way, in the mediums that they're already using. So that is what I would like to see continue and grow over time, especially because this is the generation that's the future of our church. So, of the church, not our church, the church. All right, so I think that just leaves something interesting, right? So a little insight into me. I work in a technical space, of course, but my personal hobbies are anything but technical. A couple of years ago, I decided I want goats. I have no experience with goats or any farm animals. But I said, I can figure this out. We're going to do it. So we got goats, and I taught myself as much as I could about them, learned to care for them, and use it as a chance to teach my boys about, caring for farm animals. So I learned, about the different shots that they need, how to trim hooves, milked them even. And it was really, really fun experience that kind of opened the door to more homesteading opportunities. So that is what I love. It's what I'm passionate about. And I just love to learn to do as many things myself as I possibly can. So I jumped on the sourdough bandwagon about a year ago, and that's going strong. And then that has all led into starting a small business called Wild Arrows. And the arrows are our four boys. And yes, they're a little bit wild. But it is such a fun thing that we are doing as a family. And we have started making beef tallow skincare products, which beef tallow is rendered beef fat, if you didn't know that. And I know that sounds very, very strange. I could talk about that all day long, but I want to be respectful of the time here. So I just want to say thank you so much for the care that you're putting into this process. I really appreciate that. And the more that my husband and I have dug into Life.Church and what y'all are doing, we are so excited to potentially be a part of that. And I'm just really honored you're considering me for this position. So really looking forward to meeting some of you, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.